Brian. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today to talk with you. And I want to talk with you about Thanksgiving. So, Thanksgiving is about a month away. Well, technically, it's actually a little more than a month away. But a month away is when my Thanksgiving guests descend upon my house. Now, this year, more so and different than in previous years at the Lasinski household, we're going to have extra guests. We always have a couple of relatives, some of my son's friends, etc., that come stay with us. But this year, we have a few more coming. So, like any good host, what this means for me is air mattresses. Because, you want them to be comfortable, but like not that comfortable, so that, day after Thanksgiving, they start to think about their own bed. So this is, as Brian mentioned, a proverbial zero moment of truth, right? I know a few places that sell air mattresses. I guess I could buy one at Bed Bath. I could probably buy one at Target. Certainly Amazon, I would guess, carries air mattresses. And I would bet you my paycheck that there's probably airmattresses.com that I could buy some from, as well as some manufacturers who probably sell direct from their own websites as well. So sure enough, last week, I had the task in the household to figure out how to get some extra sleeping accommodations for our guests. My wife said, well, Mr. Zimot, you go figure that out. You go do a little research. So, of course, what did I do? On this very phone right here, my trusty Android Moto X, I typed in best air mattress, and I typed in air mattress reviews to see what I would get. And so my eye was drawn to one of the higher search results from a review site called sleeplikealog.com. That sounds pretty good. I, as a good host, would like my guests to sleep like a log. So I went and I read a little bit, and I start to do what? Learn the criteria of the category, right? How many air coils are in an air mattress? Does it have a built-in air pump or an external air pump? Does it fit standard sheets? What's the warranty? What's the shipping? All this kind of stuff, right? So you know how this goes, guys. You've done this yourself in a million categories. In about 10 minutes, you're an air mattress expert, right? Because I've looked on the internet. So at this point, I bump across on a few of these different sites and a few different comments a company called Sound Asleep Products. Again, that's good because that's what I want my guests to do. I learn that they are a New Jersey company right across the river here, building and creating air mattresses manufactured in the USA. But importantly, that was important to me, but most importantly to me, they had 2,437 five-star reviews on Amazon. So I'm like, cool, this is exactly what I need. So from my phone, toggle over to Amazon, dial it up, 2 queen mattresses on their way, $100 a piece, free shipping, no tax, happy guy. Now, this is where you might think the zero moment of truth story ends, and you may have heard this all before, like, oh yeah, I get it, here's the guy going to tell me that I need to be visible and findable in those moments of truth. And that is true, you do need to be visible and findable in those moments of truth. But the genius and the lesson that I want to share with you today is this small little family company called Sound Asleep Products in New Jersey, not the big companies that you represent and the great brands you represent. This small company, when the package arrived, did something that I consider a flash of marketing genius. I opened the box. Oh, and by the way, I had also, of course, obligatorily gone to YouTube and typed in Sound Asleep Air Mattress so I can see the unboxing video, right? This is Larry in Iowa, and here's my air mattress, and here's what it looks like when we take it out, right? You know those videos, right? So I knew kind of what to expect when the box arrived. So I do the same thing. I peel it open carefully because I don't want to use a knife and cut and puncture the air mattress. And I open it up, and the first thing that's inside, on the very top of the package, is a buck slip. For all you old direct mail people like me, remember a buck slip, right? So for the rest of you, that's like a little piece of paper. And so the buck slip says, thank you for purchasing Sound Asleep's queen-size air mattress, the best reviewed mattress on Amazon. We hope you enjoy this product. If for any reason you're not satisfied, we have this wonderful liberal return policy, warranty guarantee, etc. But if you like it, now pay attention with me, but if you like this air mattress, please rate us on Amazon, and here are the 5 steps for you to do a rating on Amazon. Go to this website, click on this button, visit here, here's how you pick the stars, here's a sample of what you could say, etc. So what did I do? I went back on Amazon and gave it 5 stars before I had even blown the thing up, just because I thought the service and the experience was so good up until this point. But that, my friends, completes the marketing loop, because I was then the what? 2,438th 5-star rating for when the next guy comes down the line looking for air mattresses, right? So my zero moment of truth was informed by those who came before me. I then left some tracks, some positive tracks in this case, for the folks who follow after me, which is how a little company like this can build a great brand, by understanding and winning the zero moment of truth. And so we'll talk more about it with Emilio, who I'll introduce in a minute, and with Brian on the panel. But I want each of you to think about your brand's user experience in that zero moment of truth. Think about even storyboarding on your conference room white wall, what that looks like, right? If I type in best, whatever your product is, category, whatever category you're in the word reviews, what happens, and what is the path that people follow? Do you know your zero moments of truth? And like Sound Asleep Air Mattress Company, do you have a plan actively in your marketing department to own and win the zero moment of truth? Because, my friends, those brands that do maintain a competitive advantage, as you saw with Sound Asleep products, over those who don't. And so with that, I'd like to invite onto the stage my friend, colleague, Executive Vice President from AARP, Emilio Pardo.
So their clicker is back there. They'll click whenever I tell them to click. Hi. I am going to stitch together Al Roker's great presentation about how to get to the boomers and that what is happening in the mindset of that audience, and Jim's zero moment of truth. And I'm going to elevate this at about 30,000 feet at the zero moment of truth that is at the highest level of this brand, as AARP was looking at its own zero moment of truth. Zero moment of truth is really about the relevancy, whether it's an air mattress at that moment in time that you need for whatever reason. Am I relevant to that customer at that moment in time to make that transaction, or actually to make that relationship happen? And I wanted to share something with you here that we typically don't share externally. But as marketeers and as innovators and as students of moments of relevancy, this is a curve that if you want to capture what Al was talking about on capturing the mindset of that large market, and by the way, I also believe it's boomers and millennials together, and I'll explain that in a minute. And Jim's zero moment of truth is this chart. So this is the traditional life curve, right? And AARP, 39 million members, 53 years ago, was founded on this. So you, as a child, you're learning a lot, you're discovering adolescence, God knows, you're still discovering, you get into your work life, you're working, you're getting into your family, you get to the retirement stage, you get the gold watch, the party, and then you die. Super. There's a problem. This curve is different today. And if you flip over to the next slide, this is the new curve. Now, a couple of things are happening here. Similar patterns here, and in childhood, we'll come back to that in a minute, but look what's going on with retirement. Can't retire, don't want to retire, retire, but you're not done yet. And now with the economy coming in, you have, wait a minute, the average 50-year-old in America is looking for 20 to 25 years of work. By the way, some of my teammates said, Mel, you have spent so much money researching the new word for retirement. And they said, it's called work. And, it is, if you think about it, right? Now, something else is going on here. This little dip, right about 46, 47, you start asking yourself, what's next? You have more insights than ever before. You have probably more context than ever before, and your zero moment of truth is a little bit different than what the marketplace was if you were working on the other curve. So for us, as a big brand, we were looking at in the previous curve of, that letter that you get, if anybody here has received that letter, thank you, if you have responded yes. If not, we will 7 more times, we will mail it to you. Health and financial security to retire was the old curve. The new curve is health and financial security to live the life that you are looking for. This new life stage is actually quite real, and there's a new life stage that is forming, 46, 47. For the 51-year-old machinist in Detroit that lost her job, that job may never come back, but she has to go to work. She has to do an inward journey of how do I reimagine my skills in order to get back to work. That's just one category. Relationships, learning, others. You're asking that question of what is my new life curve and stage. And by the way, what we're seeing is that this little dip is quite relevant for millennials as well, except it's happening a lot sooner. This used to be more the midlife thing, midlife crisis, some call it. There's a quarter life crisis happening at 25. And there's a lot of relationships that are happening. So my point is that the zero moment of truth for us as a brand was to understand that my relevancy gap of that zero moment of truth, when our mission is to help you live your best life, is to do it towards this new curve, not the old curve. And in fact, I met Jim many years ago, actually now, when he was just starting his work with the zero moment of truth, and it was that insight that gave us the ability to listen to the relevancy moment in order to be relevant to the people that we serve. So with that, I think I'm going to leave it there, and then Brian, I want to bring you back for Q&A.
Excellent. All right, well, have a seat, gentlemen. We're going to open it up to questions in just a couple of minutes, so have them ready. This is the zero moment of truth. By the way, for those who don't know, when Jim literally wrote the book on the zero moment of truth, which is at zeromomentoftruth.com, you changed a lot of people's thinking and obviously have had tremendous impact. What is it, though, that you think brands still don't understand about the zero moment of truth?
Yeah. Well, I think maybe three things that I would wish brands recognized more. One is it's not going away. In fact, it's bigger than ever. In any given month, we do 100 billion searches on Google, 10 million searches just during this conversation. How many of those are jump balls, like best air mattress for your brand? So it's bigger than ever. Brands, I wish, understood more that it is global. It's not just a U.S. phenomena. We did a little research recently that showed in Asia, moms, females who are buying makeup, cosmetics, CPG products, 78% of them search in the zero moment as part of the decision process in markets like Singapore, Philippines, et cetera. So this is not just a US, UK phenomena. And then the third, I wish brands really took notice, has been a theme in this conference and many others, is that zero moment is increasingly a mobile moment. Yeah. So around a third to 40% of all CPG searches that we see are now happening on mobile devices.
On that, Emilio, I want you to be ready because I have a bigger question, like big question for you. And I have another question before we go to Emilio, and that it's the one thing about the zero moment of truth that I think a lot of us get caught up in is we still think about Google as keywords, and we think about the results as websites. And when you tell me that there are more searches happening on the mobile platform, I now start to think in my traditional mindset, I should get a responsive or adaptive design on my website so that in that zero moment of truth, my site performs better. But that's still missing the point, right? And now we're learning that people are searching with full-blown questions in Google, and that the keyword anthropology is now a big deal with 8 to 10 questions that seem to be around common discussions. How do you get somebody to see the shift? How do you get someone to see the difference in how to think about this?
Yeah, I mean, one of the exercises that we often do when we sit with good partners and friends like Emilio, and these guys are very good at it, is to just sort of in real time put the mobile phone, we have the little projectors that plug into the USB port of your laptop, and put the mobile phone and throw it up on the screen, and just like I did with Air Mattress for your brand, your category, go through sort of a real-time anthropology like that. And often, to your point, Brian, you'll see that what people are looking for is not text. Video is often critically important. Obviously, the rise of YouTube and other video sites are key to this. I mean, you heard Al talking about in his story, how many times did he mention, I went to YouTube to look for, right? So again, if you're a brand, it's not just about having, a paragraph of HTML text on your site, but, do you have how-to videos? Do you have show and tell, product demos, product walkarounds findable in that zero moment on YouTube as well?
Yeah, well said. Okay, so questions are coming to you in just a second, but Emilio, before we do that, you had a far more profound transformation as a result of the zero moment of truth. The relevancy gap that you cited, and this is really important, folks, is the fact that brands miss this. They're in business Why do I need to change if we're profitable? We do things the way we've always done. Why are you telling me this is so important? And not only did you change, but you earned and are earning relevance in a very emotional and powerful way. And you're changing people's lives in the process. So you sort of took the ball and you ran all the way to the touchdown. How did you do that? How did you get buy-in?
Well, first of all, thanks for the compliment. And this is an involving a moment of courage in this case, because you have to take an existing platform. I buried the lead in that what we did in this moment of truth is that we launched a new platform called Life Reimagined. And Life Reimagined is designed for the new curve of relevancy of, okay, so here I am in this little curve, and I need to find a job or do something about my best life, and how do I do that, and how do I serve that need? I think it starts with understanding the shift. Understanding the research, understanding the insight, but don't wait too long. That curve is not just for AARP. That curve is for anybody in America today. Actually, it's a global curve that now has been proven out. You have to understand the relevancy moment and be there. So our shift was mobile. Our shift was distributed content. No longer just come to a site. I mean, I need to be where you are at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking about what am I going to do now about this relationship? Or what am I going to do now if I haven't found a job and I'm being discriminated against because of my age? So those moments are by bazillion, multipliers. How do you design your content to be there? It takes a little bit of courage. Just a little bit.
But that's it, though.
And by the way, we have found, and here the flip side of that is it working?
Right.
So the latest numbers that we have is that just take the Life Reimagined platform alone, 75% of the people going to Life Reimagined are not members of AARP. Yet they're of age. They're the qualifying age. So that was the golden opportunity. It was a shift. Listen to them. Don't pretend that we know all the answers. Just listen to your audience.
It takes courage, right? But it also takes maybe vision and the ability to create a sense of urgency. I mean, was everybody bought in, or did you have to earn that?
The most important piece is to create that case for change.
Yeah.
Internally. In that case for change, and for all the brands here that have to make these transformations or these adjustments in the marketplace, you're going to go through 3 stages, and they're very real. And the first stage might be ridicule. Are you crazy? The second stage is violent opposition. And then the third stage is self-evident. Oh, of course we can do. Of course, yeah, we can do. So those 3 stages, you got to have the stomach to get through them. But if you do it from the mission point, from the fact that you're not advocating who you are, your product or your mission. In our case, our mission to help you live your best life. Then you just have to find the right direction with the board of directors and start at the top, and then work your way down.
If I might jump in and say, if you believe in the zero moment of truth, your persistence has to be stronger than others' resistance. And that was exactly what Emilio and the team did here. They stuck to it and were persistent, and look at the great results. Congrats.
In fact, now that I think about it, Jim was a guest speaker at one of our board meetings, retreats, when we literally took the entire board of directors and said, okay, you have to experience what real innovation is happening in Silicon Valley, and get them in the environment.
Yeah. All right. So let's take one question or 2 questions. Probably let's see how that plays out. So let's get a show of hands. Who has the first question out there? This is always the case. Anyone? Going once? Going twice? Because I have a question. Oh, here we have one in the front. It's always at the front, by the way. So we have to get the Chariots of Fire music queued up for you each time.
So when you were talking about having Jim come out to your board meeting, how was that received, and and what was follow-up coming out of that?
That was great. A lot of it is in the learnings of that experience and in making it real, not just because of his research and his credibility, but having the individuals experience what it means to have your product online, or mobile versus a traditional, and to feel that experience and to understand it personally, especially for something like what we do, which is to help you navigate your life. it opened up the aperture of the thinking. Then it led to the second stage, which is, what is your risk tolerance? Earlier in the day, there was a conversation about risk and innovation and how much risk are you willing to take. If you know the size of the gap, then you know the size of your risk, and then you need to modulate that. But having insights from real-time experiences was a huge help. In fact, to this day, they quote zero moment of truth in meetings that I'm not in, which is kind of fun.
Right. Excellent. Well, gentlemen, we are out of time, and I really much appreciate you coming here and sharing your insights and your experiences.
Thank
Jim,
you.
always a pleasure. Emilio, always a pleasure. Thank you.